welcome to round 9 of Dev-astation. I'm Kieran and I'm here with my favourite game dev, Newson.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
So we're down to the final 4 heroes now, I believe.
Yep, so we have Viserai left, Prism, Katsu, and Chain.
So 2 Runeblades, interesting. So we'll have to see what Jason flips over here, but by that become the Arknight playmat, I'm going to guess it's Viserai.
Alright, so we have Viserai versus Prism today.
Now, I can't say I've seen this matchup a whole lot, so I'm pretty interested to see how it all plays out. Yeah, and Karol, I believe, is under a bit of pressure this game, isn't he? Because this is his last hero, so his last life in the tournament, really.
Yeah, so if Karol gets eliminated this round, then Jason will still have 2 heroes to play with.
Okay. So, yeah, like I say, I haven't seen this matchup a whole lot, but I will be very interested to see how it goes. Now, I know we've seen O2K Viserai a bit before. You know, it's got that new tool in Sonata Arcanics, which Viserai can use with the Bloodsheath Skeletor. So you basically have a ton of Runechants out, you use the Bloodsheath, and it allows you to announce a high number for X on Sonata Arcanics and play it out for a bunch of damage and get a bunch of cards into your hand.
So I think that's Jason's gameplay. This game plan for this deck just run even numbers of non-attack actions and attack actions to utilize Sonata Arcanics the best, and then try to go for that one big push turn and do a lot of damage and gain back all the tempo.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe he runs cards such as, so basically cards that allow you to use a large number of cards in your hand. So Sonata Arcanics, for each non-attack action you reveal with it, you're able to put an attack action that you've revealed into your hand. So the idea behind this is, you know, if you get, say, 7 or 8 attack actions into your hand, you want to be able to do something with them, don't you? Because you're kind of limited to that one action point. So
absolutely. So, but for Prism, to be honest, Jason's deck only actually runs 3 cards that actually trigger Phantasm.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So you feel like it might be a bit difficult for him to, you know, keep up and defend quite well, potentially.
Yep, I definitely agree. Because he only has 3 Knife Blades in his deck, and he usually wants to keep one of them for his big turn. So that means he only has 2 cards left.
Well, that's a really good point. And, you know, Knife Blade's a pretty good one as well, because for things like Herald of Triumph, for example, that reduces the power of any defending cards by 1. You know, Knife Blade doesn't care about that. I've got 9 power.
Alright, so we see Jason on the play.
Okay, so it looks like
using Grasp.
Yep, looks like he's pitched a blue Amplify the Arknight to activate Grasp and played a yellow Read the Runes.
Yep.
So just like that, 3 Runechants.
Standard turn.
Yeah, I think no complaints there from Jason.
Also, Jason actually has a Knife Blade in his hand.
There we go. We'll see if he looks to sort of save that for later. And we can see Karol's playing Luminaris, so he's playing that sort of go again, slightly aggressive build. And he comes out with Phantasmaclasm. So this allows him to look at Jason's hand, put 1 card on the bottom, and let Jason draw another card. Now, Karol's got to be pretty thrilled here. That Knife Blade straight back on the bottom of the deck, please. Yep. Okay, so we'll...
Jason draw another.
Looks like he's drawn an Enlightened Strike. So that's a Phantasmaclasm that's coming in for 9 damage. Very powerful card in the Prism deck.
Yeah.
And I believe Karol I can't actually quite see if he's got a yellow pitch in the pitch zone. I think it might be a blue and a red, so I'm not sure if he's got go in here, but either way, 9 damage, nothing to sneeze at.
No.
Okay, so we see Jason having a bit of a think here.
Oh, taking 6.
Okay, so he's just chosen to defend with a single card. He takes 6 damage. Do you think this means he probably quite likes his hand or wants to just...
I feel like Jason's game plan this time will be more, more leaning on attacking and not building as much Runechants. Maybe build it later. Because maybe he has a lot of attack actions in his hand and he wants to get rid of them.
I see. And
as well as applying pressure.
Things like Enlightened Strike, pretty premium attack card. I can see why you might not want to defend with that.
So it's attacking for 7 and
so it looks like
3 Runechants, I believe.
Yeah, it looks like Karol's pitched a blue Illuminate there to prevent the 3 Runechants. And
sorry, it was actually Enlightened Strike with Go again. So means Reaping Blade and 1 Runechant will be coming in.
Yeah, so this is very good here from Jason splitting up his damage. So he's pitched a blue meet and greet to activate Grasp of the Arknight, making a Runechant, and using that one resource left over to attack for 3 with the Reaping Blade. And just a very efficient use of resources here, and it makes me understand a bit more why he chose to take a bit of damage last turn.
Take a bit of damage to do some more damage. So, lots of Phantasmal Footsteps.
Yeah, so it looks like he's pitched that energy potion to defend with the footsteps here and also prevent that Runechant, I believe.
Yeah.
So just a sort of good, efficient way of Karol to defend out that damage.
It means Karol has used his whole hand to defend. It means he's going to be drawing up.
Okay, so we can see in Jason's hand he got that Sonata Arcanics here, but no Runechants in play, so I mean, we'll see. I believe he may want to save that one, but he does have the Mordred Tide. So Mordred Tide, a non-attack action, means anytime you would create a Runechant this turn, create that many Runechants plus 1. So very, very good at building up those Runechants.
Mordred Tide is such a strong card in the Viserai, in his kind of Viserai deck, making countless numbers of Runechants.
Yeah, and not so good in decks like Chain, which I found out when I tried to build that deck. So sometimes, you're so used to Viserai, you forget that other Runeblades don't have the same abilities. Okay, so we see the Mordred Tide come down. Oh, he's got a Tome of the Arknight here. Is he going to sort of play off the top of his deck? Or just
going for Sonata for free cards?
Okay, so he's played the Sonata here. So that's a great thing about Sonata Arcanics. You can play it for 0 and still reveal the top 3 cards. You can see he's got 2 non-attack actions and an attack action here. So that allows him to put that last-ditch effort into his hand and continue on with this turn. So just it
does deal 1 arcane.
And it does deal 1 arcane.
And he creates 2 Runechants as well. Not bad at all.
Yeah, so he's creating 2 Runechants there. So that's from Viserai's ability. So he's played a non-attack action in the Mordred Tide. And now he's played another Runeblade card. So 2 Runechants coming down. Gets a blue pitch card into his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we'll see where Jason wants to go from here. It looks like he may have an Oath of... He does have another Sonata in his hand. I do wonder if he might want to look to sort of save a couple of those for later on in the game, though. Tome of the Arknight. Okay, so let's generate 2 Runechants for Viserai's ability. Let's reveal the top 2 cards of his library. If it's an attack... Yeah, if it's an attack action, non-attack action, you put them both into your hand, but it looks like he missed on this occasion.
We all know about Tome of the Arknight missing a Karen.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you hit, but sometimes you just have to throw up your hands and say, of course, not this time. So it looks like he may have thrown out that Tome of the Arknight to maybe just generate a few Runechants there, get that Read the Runes out of his arsenal. Out of his arsenal.
Now he's back to 10 Runechants, Karen.
Just like that, with the Sonata Arcanics and arsenal.
Means we'll be seeing fireworks soon. Okay,
so Karol's pitched an Arclight Sentinel here, so that's a yellow pitch card, and to come in with a Herald of Protection. So that's got to go again from the Luminaris. So Karol looking to step up step up a bit and put a bit of pressure on here.
Definitely, he needs to put pressure.
Yeah, because that's the thing. He's well aware that he can't just let Jason sit there and stack up Runechants all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So Jason here, we can see he's got. We can't see his whole hand, but it looks like he might have a Read the Runes, something like a Oath of the Arknight as well. Okay, so he defends with Become the Arknight and Oath of the Arknight. So just content to sort of prevent that damage and preserve its life total here. And Karol, has he got the follow-up? Ooh, and the Command and Conquer. So I feel like Jason, looks like he has a 2 defense card in hand here, so he might have to commit some equipments in.
Using Grasp and Arknight Skullcap.
Okay, so he got the full, the efficient use out of the Arknight Skullcap here, didn't he? So he got the full defend for 2 out of it. And there we go. Once again, Jason just really sort of stacking up those Runechants.
Yeah, I think that's what his goal. He wants to prevent as much damage as possible and then make Runechants those turn and just pass.
Yeah, so Karol, I mean, he'll be happy that he got a few of those equipment blocks out there, but at the same time, he'll be none too pleased that he got no damage through, and then Jason just makes more and more Runechants.
We'll see another Herald of Protection.
Yeah, and it looks like he's pitched a yellow Herald, so it looks like this one will have go again, I believe.
Now, does he have the pummel?
Yeah,
Very key card in this matchup.
Yeah, so pummel, an attack reaction you can play on an attack with to cost 2 or more. Now the red one gives +4 power to your attack, and if it hits, the opposing player has to discard a card. So obviously it can be really powerful. You get the other person to defend with 2 cards, then bam, throw down that pummel.
Oh, Jason electing to take the Herald.
Okay.
So therefore, Karol will be making a Spectral Shield, and his Herald will go into his soul.
Okay, so Jason probably liking the look of his hand here. So then Karol's going to come in with that Spectral Shield for 1, with because he's got Luminaris, has built-in go again.
Oh.
Ooh, okay. Oh. The Herald of Erudition. So this is the Prism Majestic. It comes in for 5 with Dominate. It has Phantasm. If it hits, you draw 2 cards. Now, this one has Go again, so drawing the 2 cards is actually very relevant here, because he could throw in some follow-up attacks. Now, Jason does have access to the Arknight Skullcap, Grasp the Arknight, and Bloodsheath Skeletor. So he's not going to be, I feel, super concerned here. Karol only has 1 resource up. He's not threatening that pummel at this stage. But I feel like this might be an attack just to keep chipping away at those at the equipment on Jason's side.
Well, actually, Karol does have 1 resource up, but he also has 1 resource from Tunic. So that could be a pummel. That's
a really good catch, Jason. Exactly. See, that's why I've got you on here for the analysis.
It's got your back, man. Don't worry.
Yeah. See, that's a classic example of things to pay attention to. See, myself on Jason's side here, I'd be saying, "Oh, it's safe, no problems."
Take it. Yeah.
But obviously, it's a little bit more difficult when you're paying attention and you do actually see there's more resources available. So he's chosen to defend for 4 here. That is interesting.
Interesting. Jason must really like his hand.
Okay, so the Herald has actually hit for 1 damage here, allowing Karol to draw 2 cards. So like you mentioned, it feels like Jason must really, really like his hand here.
I feel like Jason must be going off next turn with his Sonata Arcanics, popping off Blood Skeletor, and then trying to OTK Karol.
Okay, so we see Karol has chosen to make a Spectral Shield here, come in for 1 more damage. And then play an Energy Potion. Now, one thing here is potentially Jason as well felt like he couldn't block efficiently and play around a pummel.
Yep.
So he just thought, you know what, I'll prevent some of that damage.
If he has it, he has it, right?
If he has it, he has it. Now, Karol here, if that is in fact a pummel, he's got a very good setup with an Energy Potion in play. Okay, so now we see Jason pitch a blue, amplify the Arknight to play Oath of the Arknight red, generating another Runechant.
Oh, no.
Okay, that's a second Oath of the Arknight red.
Ooh.
So it's going to make 2 Runechants now, 1 from itself, 1 from Viserai. And those give Jason's next Runeblade attack. It's +6 now.
Here we go, Sharon. Here we go.
Okay, so Bloodsheath Skeletor. So Jason has, it looks, 10, 14, 16 Runechants in play here. So I believe he's able to announce X equal to 8.
Yep, okay. He'll be reading 11.
Yeah, so that's the interaction between Bloodsheath Skeletor and Sonata. You just sort of announce what it's going to cost for X, and this would cost 16 resources, but because he has 16 Runechants, it prevents it.
Oh, hitting 2 defense reactions. Oh, 3 defense reactions.
Okay, so Jason can't be too happy about this one, I feel.
So that means he'll be able to add 2 cards from Sonata?
Yeah, so we see cards like the Rouse the Ancients here, which if you get multiple cards are very good, because we're talking about how you only have 1 action point despite having all these cards in hand. So I feel like cards like Rouse the Ancients, for example, Enlightened Strike, even Exude Confidence, cards that, you can play them out and you can use the rest of your cards in hand to actually do something. In this case, it's a little bit unfortunate for Jason here because he's only getting 2 cards in hand. So it looks like he's going to get 2 Amplify the Arknights here.
That was not a good Sonata carry. Jason needed more than that.
And that's only dealing 2 arcane damage as well, isn't it? So Karol looks like he's used his Findale Spring Tunic to prevent 1 and let a Spectral Shield sort of disappear to defend against the other arcane damage. Now Jason's picked up the Amplify the Arknight. Now the silver lining I feel here is that is getting +6 from the from the Oath of the Arknight. But despite that, yeah, I feel Jason's not going to be thrilled. Okay, so...
Ooh, coming in for...
So I believe that's 10 plus 14 plus 16 Runechants, so 26 damage all up.
Not too shabby at all, but...
Okay, that poor Spectral Shield has been wiped off the face of the earth.
Jason definitely wanted more than this. So Karol takes all the Runechants.
Yeah, so electing to take all the arcane damage there. We'll see if he wants to defend this, amplify the Arknight. And one thing I want to note is I feel this deck is playing very differently than some of the traditional sort of OTK Viserai decks we've seen in the past, where you just stack up sort of, 40 or 50 Runechants and try to throw it down one big turn.
Yeah.
I feel like Jason's, very happy just building up sort of, maybe 2 or 3 big turns throughout the game.
Jason's deck is more of a combo Viserai deck, more than the build 50 Runechants and try to kill you in that turn.
Okay.
So Jason usually just goes off with maybe 15 or 18 Runechants.
Okay, so it looks like Karol's played a red Illuminate here. So pretty efficient card. So that's 0 cost, 4 power, light attack action. If it hits, it goes into your hero's soul. So now I think we can kind of see why Karol maybe chose not to defend those Runechants last turn, or prevent the arcane damage, should I say. He had the red pummel, the red Illuminate. So it seems he just wanted to defend with 3 cards and then actually threaten something back with his
Not gonna lie,
card.
Karen, this card is very annoying. The on-hit ability to put it into your soul if it hits is
very annoying to deal with.
Yeah, especially 4 power. You can't block it. You can't block it with 1 card.
Yeah, it's one of those classic sort of breakpoints that we talk about, isn't it?
It's like a snatch.
Yeah, especially with Jason's equipment down. So the grass on 2 counters, the Arknight Skullcap and the Bloodsheath Skeleton has been used.
Alright, so Jason elects to take the 4. Illuminate goes into the soul. Oh, so we see Jason's last Sonata.
And so it hits 1 card. So that's all 3 Sonatas gone, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. I suppose perhaps one thing to note is once the Bloodsheath Skeletor is gone, that card maybe becomes a bit less impactful.
It's still really good, but it doesn't create the combo style which Jason's deck is orientated to.
Absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see if Jason sort of adjusts his game plan a little bit now. Now that he's got Karol down to 20, he's used the 3 Sonatas. If he's looking to sort of keep up a little bit of pressure here on Karol, or maybe go for, one more really big swing to finish him off.
So we see an Enlightened Strike in Jason's hand. So I think he will just go Enlightened Strike with Go again, and then attack with Reaping Blade with Runechant, like previously.
Yep, and one thing to note here is...
There we go.
Yeah, if that Runechant damage comes through, it looks like he's a meet and greet in hand, which would have Go again. But it looks... I believe Karol has prevented that Runechant here. And then he comes in with an Amplify the Arknight for 4. So Karol actually choosing to defend with Phantasmaclasm and I believe a pummel. So that's 2 pummels gone from his deck now.
Karol does play 6, 3 of the red ones and 3 of the yellow ones.
So. Okay, yep. So I guess looks like that could work, and particularly if we know that card's been in his arsenal for a long time here, and he was sort of threatening on it on that previous turn. So I guess we'll see if that actually is the pummel after all. So it looks like we're going back to Jason's turn. Karol just elects to draw up and pass the turn. Now Jason's got a sink below here, which isn't doing a whole lot from right now, but we'll see if he might want to get that into arsenal at the end of his turn. Looks like...
Ooh.
Okay.
Rouse the Ancients.
So he's dropped the Rouse. So Rouse the Ancients, so that's a blue card. Technically it has 0 attack, but when you play it, if you reveal cards with total power of 11 or more...
13.
Oh, sorry, 13 or more, my mistake. See, that's why I got you helping me out here, Newson. It gains Go again and +7 attack. So that's coming in for 7 +1 Runechant.
Most importantly, Jason did reveal a 9th blade in his hand, which I think he will be keeping to stop any of Karol's phantasm attacks.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually.
So now Karol has knowledge of that, so you can try to play around it.
And then we see that classic player pitching a blue Raging Onslaught to create a Runechant and play an attack with the Runeblade. So just splitting up that damage.
Yep.
And Karol just choosing to defend out as much as possible. Maybe he wants to look at trapping that Ninth Blade in Jason's hand and just sort of waiting a little bit.
So no Arsenal from Jason, as expected.
And is that a second Ninth Blade he has now? Looks like it is. So Ninth Blade doing a lot of work in this deck. We just saw very good at reaching that sort of 13 power threshold for the Rouse the Ancients, and very good at sort of shutting down these Phantasm attacks. Now, one thing we'll see if Karol falls into a bit of a trap here, because if Jason pitches one of these Ninth Blades, Karol might be thinking, oh, there we go, it's gone. Shields down, let's go for it.
Not gonna lie, if I saw him pitch it, I'll probably think, oh wait.
Yeah.
I'm going all in.
I'm a bit like you, I see them pitch it and I think, all right, let's keep it real.
Yeah, let's go keep it real, right, Coon?
Exactly. Used to know when we play, we keep it real. We play pretty aggressive. It doesn't always work out, but we stay true to our play style. So we see Jason here has the Rune Blood barrier in hand. I believe he does have a blue card as well. So we'll see if he wants to run that out.
Okay, there we go, pitching the Knife Blade.
Okay, now one thing is here, what might be telling. So Jason has chosen to keep this card in hand.
Yeah.
So, and from Karol's perspective, he might suspect it's another Ninth Blade, but at the same time, this could be Jason, for all Karol knows, Jason playing a few mind games with him.
Definitely. But luckily for Karol, he does have his Phantasmal Footsteps, and Karol is playing with a 4-card hand, meaning he can sort of play around the Knife Blade by playing a Herald. First to bait out the Knife Blade, and then using Footsteps to give him another action point.
Yeah, so Phantasmal Footsteps to all our listeners as well. So first time a card with Phantasm will be destroyed this turn.
You can't Knife Blade that, Karen.
No, you cannot. So Phantasmal Footsteps, if a card with Phantasm will be destroyed this turn, you can pay 1 resource to get an action point. So the first time each turn. But yeah, of course, like Newson mentioned, Command and Conquer, there's no blocking that. There's no defending that with the Ninth Blade. That's just coming down for 6 damage. And also, so Jason here, he does have the Rune Blood barrier, so those Runechants can potentially soak up to 5 of this damage. But Runechants are quite an important resource as well. So
I just don't think Jason wants any Runechants to be taken away from him. But it's really hard because we think that Karol's arsenal is a pummel.
Yeah, and it's been sitting there for a long time. Now, one thing is here is if Jason chooses to defend this for 6 and Karol does pummel, the pummel won't actually cause Jason to discard a card because of those Runechants that will prevent the damage. But I think Karol will be pretty happy just...
no block.
Okay, and there we see...
Go. How did you know it was a pummel, Kane?
I think we're just really good at the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the type of insight you get when you got Kieran and Newson on commentary.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a swing here. So that's coming in. So it looks like he took 4 damage. So that may be a yellow pummel.
Yep.
But Karol's probably going to be pretty happy with this. So he's just wiped out all of those Runechants and he's causing Jason to discard a card here as well.
Ooh, this card's exude confidence.
Okay, so one thing to note here on the pummel count. So that's 3 pummels in the graveyard and 1 that's been pitched. Okay, so it looks like, there may have just been a very slight issue with priority there, with Karol wanting to make a Spectral Shield at the sort of end of Jason's turn.
Yep.
Now, Jason still actually has an action point available at this point. So when Karol makes a Spectral Shield, Jason has the option to actually, follow up this with an attack. So it looks like he's pitched that Ninth Blade to come with the Reaping Blade.
That tells Karol that. So he did keep 1 card in hand.
I believe he might have had 2 Ninth Blades.
There is
a third one.
Sorry about that.
So this could be the ultimate. Karol's going to have to play very carefully here. Now, he does have that Phantasmal Footsteps, like you mentioned earlier.
Yep.
But you might have to watch his step a little bit. Yeah, so just to follow up the priority thing there, if you have an action point you pass to your opponent and they use and activate an instant ability or play an instant card, it means you do get priority back when that resolves. Okay, so Karol choosing to just come through with an Illuminate here, I believe.
Oops.
So that is an interesting play because he has 1 card in hand, 1 card in arsenal.
This is a very weak turn for Karol.
I suppose one thing is here, if the Illuminate hits, or even if it doesn't, Karol has the option to pitch that last card in his hand to create another Spectral Shield with Prism's hero ability.
Yep, so Jason takes 4. Oh,
okay.
Keep the card in hand.
That is interesting. I wonder if that could be something like a Phantasmaclasm. Okay, so now we see a Mordred Tide come down from Jason. He's choosing to pitch a blue Raging Onslaught to Grasp of the Arknight. That's going to make 2 Runechants because of Mordred Tide. And then the Read the Runes is going to make an additional 6. So 3+1 from itself, and then 1+1 from the Viserai ability.
Setting up for a big turn.
And just like that, straight back to 8 Runechants. So Jason's been sort of really holding on to that last card. I feel like Karol may have identified that it is a Ninth Blade, or at least that Jason's trying to bluff one. So we'll see how he goes about this turn here.
Could be huge, Kieran. He has 8 Runechants. Ninth Blade only costs 1 to play now.
That's a really good point. And he does have access to the Time Skippers to sort of generate multiple action points if he wants to. So Karol electing to just come in with the Spectral Shields. So they take for 1+1 each.
Oh, no.
Oh, and it was the Phantasmaclasm.
Oh, that is very big.
So it looks like Karol chose to hold that Phantasmaclasm last turn. I think he had a Red Illuminate and that. So that's put the Ninth Blade on the bottom. Karol knows that Jason can't defend this, or at least with a way that will crack the Phantasm effect.
The most important thing is that Jason cannot play his Ninth Blade like he wanted to last turn. I still feel like he will not defend with his Ninth Blade on this Phantasm.
Oh wow!
And
so that has go again because of the Yellow Pitch and Arsenal. Jason's chosen to defend with
Salt to Injury.
Yeah, so Jason chose to defend with all 4 cards there, and then Karol follows up with a bit of a devastating Command and Conquer to take out that Reduce to Runechant.
You know, that play just reminds me of something you would do, Kieran.
Yeah. It looked like he wanted to save that Reduce to Runechant potentially for a future turn to guard against a pummel. But yeah, Karol with that Energy Potion really utilizing that effectively. And I feel like he's got Jason sort of under quite a bit of pressure here now.
Well, we can't ignore Jason still has 8 Runechants in his disposal. He just needs 1 turn to, utilize and do as much damage to Karol as he can.
That's true. So now it looks like Karol's coming in with that Spectral Shield for 1. Now Jason here, one thing is he is down to 6 life, and he's run out of equipment to defend with. So these Spectral Shields are feeling a little bit like Harmonized Gadachin, those Katsuara decks at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
And here we see now a 3rd Spectral Shields coming down. Now these are going to get very, very annoying to deal with very quickly. Okay, so Jason elects to take the first one. And that's the thing. I feel like Jason might be feeling that he's slowly running out of time in this game now. We see the sort of real power of that Phantasmaclasm effect, just putting that Ninth Blade on the bottom of Jason's deck and just...
That card shut down his whole turn.
Absolutely. So Jason's really sort of considering his options here, and I can see he has the Red Enchanting Melody in hand. But again, that card, not particularly strong when your opponent has multiple sort of Spectral Shields that are just attacking for 1 over and over again.
Yep, definitely. Takes another 1.
Oh, the Goliath Gauntlet.
The Goliath Gauntlet.
So that's going to give +2 power to his next attack action. That costs 2 or more to play.
Dominate? Oh, Hero of Triumph. I think this might be it, Kieran.
Or is that the Hero of Tenacity, the Dominate?
Tenacity, sorry, not Triumph. Why not?
Yep, so that's coming through for 5 damage, and that's it. It's over just like that.
Means Prism has defeated Viserai.
Yeah, and a very interesting game all in all. I feel that early Sonata Arcanics, it didn't quite come off for Jason.
I think that was one of the crucial turns that had to go his way, but unfortunately, he hit 3 defense reactions and 6 attack actions and, just couldn't do anything.
I guess, fortunately, if you're looking at it from Karol's perspective.
It's good for Karol.
Yeah, absolutely. So then, we saw Karol come through with a few fantastic plasms that really paid off for him big time. And it looks like that was just enough with some timely pummels to really just put the pressure on and close out that game.
So now we're down to the final 3. So Karen, what do you think has the best chance of winning?
So the final 3 we've got I believe it's Katsu, Prism, and Shane.
Yep.
You know me, one of my old nicknames back in the day, Kadachi Kieran. I'm going to have to go with Katsu, which I believe is the deck that you're playing as well.
Yep, that means I'll be taking on Karol next in the next round, and hopefully I get him.
Well, Katsu plus Newson, match made in heaven. I'm backing my guy Newson to take out the whole tournament, but stay tuned. We're coming down to the wire. The final few games coming up next, so stick around.